came out during injury for that Hawaii series, but is back in the rotation. Matt Luoma and Sean Harvey. The middle blockers, Gage Gabriel and Owen Rose, and the libero, Ryan Merck. Caroline, any final thoughts before we get underway?
Let's play ball.
Better than that. St. Francis 4-3. They are 2-2 on the road. Penn State is 4-4, coming off of 2 losses to Hawaii, but a very gritty second game on Saturday last week.
I was loving what I was seeing out of Penn State last week in their ultimate loss against Hawaii in set 4. That is the standard, what they should be doing all season. The grit, they were throwing punches, they were taking swings. I was liking what I was seeing.
It's about to get underway for a Keystone Clash. St. Francis out of the NEC, their 4th year of competition in the Northeastern Conference. And Penn State with EIVA play right around the corner. Looks like it will be the middle blocker, Owen Rose, getting things started for Penn State.
Owen Rose is one of Penn State's best servers. He is very consistent behind the line and aggressive. See if he can start this game off strong.
Yeah, go back to game 2 against Hawaii, where that one set that Penn State ended up knocking off the Warriors on was with Rose behind the serving line.
Oh yeah, that was all him. Because when you have a good server going in there and putting Hawaii out of system, they're not able to run their usual offense. That's what Rose was able to do.
So the 2-time EIVA first teamer will get things started off. St. Francis, Penn State, red flash, Nittany Lions. Let's rock and roll from Happy Valley, and we'll start with a service error.
It's all right. That's the name of the game in men's volleyball. I have learned to cope with it if you've listened to prior broadcasts, that I'm just okay with it.
It's been a long process for you, though.
It has.
We've been doing this for almost a year, and it takes a bit, but
there's a lot of growth.
That's what we're here for.
That's all we can do.
It is the starting setter, Kyle Charles. He'll get St. Francis's first crack from behind the line. So the first 2 points off of 2 service errors.
Yeah, and one thing that St. Francis talked about was their aim to serve the ball at the tape, which is something that you don't usually see because that's such a high-risk, high-reward serve.
Something that Mike Rumbaugh talked about with us prior to tonight's game. First swing and first kill for the St. Francis. So it makes it 2-1. But that point about just serving at the net, it was Braden Gall, the middle blocker, getting the job done. And Cole Dorn serving. Lasers one to the back row. Gabriel with a solo swing, out of play, and Penn State gets their first kill of the night.
Gage Gabriel gets rolling early. He's utilizing that block. He sees that Gall is diving. His arms weren't necessarily straight over, so he utilizes that to his advantage and then tools the ball out of bounds.
Gage Gabriel, first in the EIVA in hitting percentage. First season very young, but a sign of how strong this sophomore is in the Penn State starting lineup. Running up is Jaden Bethel, and he'll find the back line.
That is a great swing. He is able to go over the top of the block, also in between because the middle blocker was a little bit late, so he goes and he hits high hands with a good wrist snap to the corner, and it just lands in perfectly.
Yeah, Jaden Bethel, another outside hitter that has gotten his first glimpses of action this season. Did suffer an injury in that second game against Hawaii, though, so the freshman Kyle Fagan came in for him. But Bethel back and ready for business, and who else is ready for business but Brady Stump, our player to watch.
So Gall baited the middle blocker. He baited Penn State's middle and left Stump solo on the outside. So he was able to hit straight down that line with little to no conflict in front of him.
And that's been a trend through a lot of the games we've seen with Penn State, where the middle blockers have been a huge factor, but in the most unorthodox of ways. Charles towards Stump, and the contact from Luoma goes off the antenna, so St. Francis up 1.
Stump really utilizing his shot down the line there, whether it be in straight down the line or using the block. It's the same shot, just different result.
8th game for St. Francis, the 5th appearance this season for Braden Gall, the middle blocker. And a float serve, too much under it.
Little bit of a miscontact there. That happens when you're float serving, excuse me.
And it's harder to achieve because you think float serve out, just getting over the net. There's so much more to it.
There's a lot of factors. It's toss, whether it's behind you. It's just serving is a difficult skill, period. It's more mentality.
Gabriel gets it clean for Penn State. And out of the middle, look out below. A swing from Sam Lane. trying not to get hit over here.
Yeah, I'd really tried my best there. That is a great swing. He is making Gage Gabriel play defense back there, which is something that you want to do when a middle serves, because they are not typically the best defenders. So you swing to them after they serve, and they have to play defense.
Sam Lane, the senior out of Rochester, New York. And a laser from Nathan Zinni. Here comes Bethel. He got hands. Charles up for stump, and he's roofed. Owen Rose and Matt Luoma tied at 5.
I really like the setup by Matt Luoma there. He was able to stop inside because he recognizes that the set was stopping inside, and Rose was able to just drop in and connect and put 4 hands up. That's an awesome block.
Penn State first in the EIVA, 13th in the nation in blocks per set. 74 teams in the top level of collegiate volleyball as Luoma sends a diving serve. Running up is Nathan Zinni. Merck tracks it with the one-handed dig. Back onto the St. Francis side. Out of the back row is Dorn. Playing it up in a net joust won by Kyle Charles. Her tried to play it for Bethel. Bit too much under it though.
Yeah, Her got a little bit too underneath that and used too much arms in order to raise that instead of his legs. So he ends up overpassing that, and just it's an assist for St. Francis at that point.
So sub commits the service error, but back to Kyle Charles. Really being aggressive on some of his early swings, something we haven't seen from Penn State or their opponents yet this season. The setters have played more to the hitting game.
Right. When you have a setter that is typically offensive, they want to take over the game. But I think in moments like this where you're just trying to get a feel, your goal is to get your hitters confident, not yourself.
Zinni sends one cross court, but everyone ducked out of the way. It landed out of play. With Bethel serving. The freshman out of Dallastown, PA. Charles had to run up, and here comes Zinni into the block. Harvey Rose and Her.
Disciplined block setup. That is a great triple block. They recognize that that is going to be set back row because that's where the power hitter is right now. They get up, they get set, and ultimately Sean Harvey ends up falling down. Just so much power. That's what it was.
You can just see that Penn State had their feet on the ground, to put it, compared to St. Francis.
Right, and then also that ace out of Jaden Bethel was absolutely disgusting. That is 58 miles per hour, not the fastest serve we've seen, but the spot was incredible. Straight down and threading that line. Really hard ball to pass.
It has to be so hard to thread the line as well.
You know, sometimes it's not intentional.
Sometimes the volleyball gods are just on your side. We've seen that time and time again this season.
To be honest, most of the time it's not intentional.
Luoma got to the back row. Played up by Zinni. Free ball from Cole Dorn. That landed on the near sideline. A timeout from Mike Rumbaugh as Penn State has gone in a 5-0 scoring run. They're the first to 10.
Penn State's just got to take it and run with it. Same.
Caroline Jaravicius, what are your thoughts on the early points?
I think Penn State is winning these games based off of blocks right now. They are hitting their average 2.5 so far. But I anticipate a couple more blocks going to happen because it's still early.
So we had a stoppage, a redo from Bethel. That one a cleaner serve. And Cole Dorn takes an off-speed swing at Jackson Her. The recycle into the antenna.
Poor connection there between Charles and Dorn. Charles set that ball a little bit low and wide, and if you're Dorn, you just have to try to pray that's going to make it over the block into the middle of the court. That's a really hard ball to get a hold of.
And when you're in that spot, how are you reacting in real time to something like that where you got to adjust?
You basically just have to set it over and then hope you win the point or live to make another play.
Attack error makes it 12-6, so a 7-0 run now for Penn State. Been in control of this set, but if you look at the history, 3 of the last 6 matches between these two teams, Penn State has won all of them. 3 of them have gone 5, though.
See, if Penn State keeps the momentum they have right now, they're looking very confident coming off of that Hawaii series, especially that 4-set performance. They're playing with something to prove right now that they deserve to be a ranked team.
Because we've mentioned that there have been so many times that Penn State has lost games because of the early points. It sounds counterintuitive, but it ends up paying off.
It really does set the stage for what they're about to do. And Matt Luoma, again, with another kill right there. He has been absolutely rolling tonight. Only 2 kills, but he is batting 1,000. Great high hand swing.
How many times did we say that last week as well?
I'd say 15 for the amount of kills that he had.
It's 17 in the game, too.
Excuse me, 17.
Ridiculous performance. One of the best we've seen out of the redshirt junior from Phoenix. Here comes Dorn over the triple block. And a big hack from Owen Rose. Slammed off of Nathan Zinni. And another timeout from Mike Rumbaugh.
Not a soul in front of him on the block. Owen Rose got a hold of that. He just absolutely unloaded into right back. You cannot defend that. There's just so much.
Controlling the middle part of set one. That time, Bethel tries to toe the line. Unsuccessful this one, though.
See, that's just a testament to the fact that it isn't always intentional when you try to go down the line and you do get those aces. Sometimes the margin of error is 2 to 3 feet. Really got lucky with that first one.
And that was the mentality of Mike Rumbaugh when he talked about how, as Harvey sends it long, was looking for a touch, though, trying to go cross court, was that if you have a philosophy of playing to the net tape, there are times where it's going to work.
It is a 50-50 shot. We saw a lot of those balls go in the favor of the serving team against that Hawaii series. It's a rare sight.
Here comes Harvey. Overpass, and Rose gets stuffed. Cole Dorn.
What a highlight play for St. Francis. That is an incredible dig where you're just getting hit and popping the ball up. That's just defense right there. And able to see that the overpass is coming back over and the discipline it takes to get up there and press.
Here comes Rose. Off the mark. It's now a 4-0 run for the Red Flash. And they're turning the tide.
Picking up momentum. A 4-point lead is definitely, you can climb back from that if you're St. Francis. And they are trying to do that right here.
Off speed from Lane. Here comes Luoma. Off speed. And got the campfire down.
That's exactly what St. Francis did to Gage Gabriel earlier. Make the middle play defense. They tipped right in front of Lane as he's coming back from serving. It's a really smart play by Penn State.
5-point game. A rocket from Rose. Looking for Gall. Trying to find hands, and he does.
He hits that ball at such a high angle that he really just has to hit flat because he sees the hands in front of him. It's not like he has to snap his wrist or anything. He just simplifies the move and then uses the ball in the hands to send it out of bounds.
Braden Call hit .438 last year in 2025. That led St. Francis players that participated in 20 or more games, and he leads the way on that roof of Sean Harvey.
Cole Dorn was able to come in all the way from the outside pin, and he ultimately was the one that got the final say on that ball. His discipline and his press over the net is the reason St. Francis got that amazing block.
So the backup setter in Braden Kruzovich serves for St. Francis. Harvey now over the block. Sent in the air by Stump, and Dorn avoids all the hands, and a point for Penn State.
That is an incredible defensive play by Stump, though. He was able to just throw his hand up there, and that is defense at its finest. It's not always the perfect dig, but it's those scrappy plays where you just have to throw a limb out there and pray that you get a touch. That is a great controlled dig.
Kruzovich setting up for Zinni. Back row was ready for Penn State. Here comes Matt Luoma. He got the corner.
Yet again, we are calling his name because he is able to switch up that shot selection. He has gone high hands majority of the time, but he sees that deep cross is open, takes it, gets the kill.
Matt Luoma led Penn State in kills in both of the games last year against St. Francis as well. 18 kills in the second game as Cole Dorn gets a kill for the Red Flash.
Little wrist away swing technique action out of Cole Dorn. That's when you're on the right side and you shape your wrist away from the ball. The ball is going to go down the line. That's a nice swing.
Mike Rumbaugh called Cole Dorn a workhorse. And he'll serve. That time into the net, though.
To the net, we have 5 service errors so far this match. A relatively
Make it 6.
A relatively low statistic for men's volleyball. Anticipating a bit more of that, but that's given us some critical points.
The night's still young, Caroline.
For sure.
Not the last time we'll say that. Kruzovich up for Stump. Her was the first to it. And Luoma on a long set. This time opposite pin with Nathan Zinni. Here comes Bethel. A great dig from Dorn. Stump into the block. It's Gage Gabriel.
Gage Gabriel just doing those Gage Gabriel things on the block. He is just such a disciplined blocker that his pin blockers know how to get up next to him and press with him, and they know it's going to be successful.
You could just say he's doing the Gage Gabriel, and it's weird how you know what that means.
Literally. I've said it every single broadcast, and it just makes sense.
It's textbook from the Birdsboro, PA native. Luoma with a block that pinballs around on the red flash side. Her up for Harvey, and a point for the red flash who's in the net.
A little bit low on that set, and that contact by Harvey buries it into the net. That's a lot of momentum taking him there. Just ultimately not successful.
It's been a very gritty set one. Penn State hitting 0-48 to St. Francis's triple zeros. St. Francis almost gets the ace. Harvey tracks it near the stands. It ends up being a free ball. Kruzovic, opposite side for Zinni. Great cover by Ryan Merck. Bethel. Here comes Stump. Looking to go cross court. Nobody home.
Just a bit wide, but it looks like we're going to have a challenge on the play. Oh, I take that back. It would have been something earlier in the match, or earlier in that rally right there.
It's Penn State the first to 20. We won't get our first challenge.
I like to play a little game to see if I'm right, and 90% of the time I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm not much better, if I'm any better at all. Stump, it rolls off. And that ends up being too many touches.
Brady Stump hitting a negative right now. There's a little bit of issue with the connection between the setter and he right now. See if he can heat that up as the game goes on. It's still set one. There's time.
He had 266 kills last year. That leads all St. Francis returners. Of course, no Andrew Deerdorf after he graduated last year, one of the impact players for the Red Flash. That's led them to 3 straight NEC regular season titles, but no NCAA tournament appearances, and that's the goal for Mike Rumbaugh in their final year of D1 volleyball.
Go big or go home. I hope that and more for this St. Francis team.
Of course, a conference that now has an auto bid to the NCAA tournament for winning the conference title in the postseason. And Luoma got some antenna.
I do like that set from Jackson Herr. That is a really nice position that he put Luoma in. Just Luoma hits it a little bit wide into that antenna, but that's a great hustle play.
The Arizona native connection. Of course, Jackson Herr coming over from Grand Canyon last year. Luoma, an EIVA honorable mention for the Nittany Lions in 2025. Bethel out of play. Kruzovic for Coldorn. He got hands. Overpass. He had to recover and back up Sam Lane. And Stump able to beat Harvey. Wasn't the hardest swing, but it didn't matter.
90% of the time, how hard you hit the ball doesn't matter. It's the intention that you put behind it, and that was a great high hand swing. Penn State cannot run it down into the deep backcourt.
3:01, Penn State calls the timeout. We'll step between the two men commanding these two teams. Mike Rumbaugh in his 28th season as the St. Francis head coach, the third most winningest active head coach in Division I men's volleyball. On the side of Penn State, the winningest active head coach in men's volleyball. Mark Pavlik, if he wins both games this weekend, here tonight and at Loretto tomorrow, it'd be win number 700 for him.
That is a great, there's just a friendship between these two men that's developed over, of course, the proximity of St. Francis and Penn State, but over the years, they've definitely learned from each other and seen the game grow together.
And Mike Rumbaugh talked about it. These two have known each other since going back to the club days where Pavlik was in Yorktown and Rumbaugh was in Pittsburgh. They've kept their friendship competing at the highest level of men's volleyball. Wolgemuth gonna play it up for Stump, and he's able to navigate the block. Wasn't the prettiest set. St. Francis gets it done anyway.
Stump adjusting and getting these past 2 kills. That is a great play by him. Soft touch. Again, it doesn't need to be the hardest kill in the books, but it just needs to be smart.
There's Nathan Zinni, who missed all of last year with injury, but 2024, he led the nation in aces. Rose out of the middle. Overpasses to Merck. Opposite side, Luoma. Saved off the net. Free ball from Dorn. Harvey is there to stop it. Here comes Jaden Bethel. Goes cross court, beats the libero Wolgemuth. And a lot of crazy volleyball in that point.
I absolutely love the heat in which Bethel came in for that swing. He took a wide approach and he was able to get up and just crank it. That was a powerful swing.
And we see 2 subs for Penn State, a setter and a hitter change, Tristan Hassell and Michael Schwob, who's behind the line. Schwob's first action of the night is a service error. So 3 points is the difference between Penn State and St. Francis. Penn State also 3 points away from taking the first frame.
St. Francis has really climbed their way back into this one, haven't they?
They have. Here's the leader in aces in the NEC, Brady Stump. Service error, 66 miles an hour though.
I do like that serve. Honestly, that seemed a lot faster than 66 miles per hour. There was a lot of, I want to say, heat behind it on top of the speed.
Heat, sauce, smoke.
All of the above.
Yeah, that checks out. And we'll trade back and forth with Bethel.
3 service errors in a row. It's the difference between winning this set and then tying it up with Penn State.
Exactly, especially at this part of the match, and Rumbaugh talked about it to us, that winning the red zone is so important, and that's what's really decided a lot of these games for St. Francis, especially against teams like Penn State, as Owen Rose goes out of the middle, and Penn State is just 2 away.
Recognizing the solo block in front of him, he does a wrist-away swing technique like we talked about earlier. If you're in the middle, that's going to get you pushing cross-court towards where that libero is. So he's challenging the best defender on the court, ultimately walks away successful.
So it is set point, pardon me. Who else but Owen Rose to serve? Pressure. Tough play from Gall. It's out of bounds. And set 1 goes to the Nittany Lions, 25-20. A very big catch from Rec Hall. Taylor, the first set stats, not a hitting percentage you see often at the end of a set.
This is not the best hitting percentage I've seen. We are hitting both below 100. 100 is a bare minimum of where you want to be if you want to be playing some good volleyball. We have been seeing some great defense though. 13 digs to 12 digs and 2 blocks to 3 blocks. That is some great defense. That's the thing that definitely led Penn State to win that match. I'm going to need to see both sides clean up the hitting, though.
Penn State averaging this season, hitting 263. And you go back to the series against Robert Wesleyan, where the Red Flash out-hit them 288-160 for that entire series. They played 9 sets total, and the highest in that whole weekend was 481 by the Red Flash. Here comes Matt Luoma, and the first point is a kill, so improvement from last set.
Right, that's going to bring the numbers up, but Matt Luoma out of the back row is deadly. He has so much acceleration and range because he can see the whole court in front of him as opposed when you're right up against the net.
You know, someone that Mike Rumbaugh really highlighted as a guy that is so potent as a hitter, and Owen Rose commits the service error, so right back to where we started.
It's 0-0 at this point. That's a good serve down that line. Again, trying to thread it and keep it in.
Now it's the setter, Charles, who had 39 assists and 3 blocks in the game against Penn State last year, and Jackson Herr gets his first setter dump of the night.
That's the offensive setter that he is known to be, especially over at Grand Canyon. We haven't seen a lot of him this year doing that, but he has been doing such a great job of instilling that confidence in his hitters. But I do like when he does get offensive every once in a while.
Yeah, in game number 9, this is only the 5th game that he's had a kill, as Sean Harvey with a lethal block. But going back to Jackson Herr, who had 5 double-doubles last year, which indicates you're being more aggressive as a setter.
It's early in the season as he continues to build that confidence, especially getting through EIVA play.
Just coming up in 2 weeks' time. And a big swing from St. Francis that cuts the lead to 1.
It's a really nice swing. That is a great range. Some great range. That's a sharp shot. Really hard to dig if you're Penn State.
Behind the line is the senior from Pittsburgh and Cole Dorn. Don't think we need to say it. So 4-2. With Harvey now behind the line. Up to 12 service errors in this game so far. And Brady Stump gets the kill.
Brady Stump has really been turning it up as the match continues to go on. I don't know if that's a nerves thing or getting warm, but that is a great shot utilizing the block If you're Penn State, you can't dig that because it's literally going towards the scorer's table. There's a barrier that's preventing you from digging that.
Also a barrier from knocking my face off. Merck saves it for the moment. Her has to send the free ball. Him and Luoma, I think an assist from the coach. And here comes Stump, doesn't matter.
Power of friendship got that ball over.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Stump says, I don't care. I'm going to put this ball down. Great swing down the line.
Yeah, power of friendship helps you with the save, not with the kill. Serve drops Merck down low. Now a joust at the net, and nobody's home to back up Jaden Bethel, and St. Francis has the early lead.
Her setting that ball over the net. There's nothing you can do if you're Jaden Bethel there unless you go up and block, try to block an overpass. It's a tough situation to be in if you're a hitter.
Here's Gall with a slow speed serve, and Gabriel looking for something. He won't get it. But back to that St. Francis serving game where Mike Rumbach talked to us about how its serving game is so intentional in the men's game, where you have your 75-mile-an-hour serve where he talks about it being a changeup, but getting a 55-mile-an-hour, as he calls it, ankle biter, or dropping serve. That really plays into how this St. Francis team operates as Gage Gabriel pushes one through the block.
Gage Gabriel just coming off an error just before that. If you're Jackson Hurd, you're trying to repeat your hitters. If they make an error, to give them some confidence and say, yeah, I trust you to put this ball away, now do it.
And that shows a lot of trust that you're willing to go back to the guy that just committed the error.
It's a sign of a good setter.
Which Jackson Hurd and Michael Schroe both are. They've showed it on the stat sheets and have helped Penn State to some strong wins and strong performances. Off the pole of the net gives a point to St. Francis. There is a camera, though, which is something we didn't see last weekend because it got knocked off in the Hawaii series.
A lot of aggressive volleyball happening there, and that was just a weird play because it's just kind of waiting to see what side this ball is going to drop on when it lands on top of the tape.
Here comes Nathan Zinni. Big hack from Rose. It's kept off the floor. Her has to run up and get it. Owen Rose tried to get sneaky with it. St. Francis is ready. Wolgemuth backs up the block. Now here comes a wonky play from Dorn. Libero tries to save it into the stands. And we've just seen some very interesting volleyball on both sides.
Wolgemuth were able to get that over. That would have been a career play for him. He had a very great hard-driven dig. He was able to read the tip. And if he would have gotten that over after diving into scorer's table, that would have been highlight reel somewhere on Instagram.
We have seen the highlight reel plays throughout this season for both sides. Here comes a hack from Sam Lane. And Luoma commits another attack error.
Looking for a challenge. I take that back. That's the second time I've said that tonight. I'm just going to stop looking at what these guys are doing.
Yeah, but the second time that we've seen the players, are they saying no challenge?
Yeah, because you know you have a set amount of challenges. You don't want to waste them on a ball that you're not being honest on.
And we know that both sides can definitely embellish.
I've done it.
Oh,
they
yeah.
definitely do it.
Oh, yeah. It's part of the game.
Literally, how good of a liar can you be as well as how hard can you hit the ball?
Exactly. There's some acting involved in volleyball. Volleyball is theater.
That's one way to put it.
Here comes Dorn off speed. Right to Jackson Hurd. Here comes Sean Harvey. And that's a classic Sean Harvey swing. And someone that has elevated his role in this Penn State lineup throughout the season, has become someone that, as you said, Caroline, is so consistent and reliable for this team.
Haven't been calling his name much tonight, but that swing right there is what he is known for. A nice off-speed, hard-driven, really just depends on the situation, but he continues to do a good job at that continually throughout the season.
He had 12 kills in the first game against Hawaii, in which Penn State got swept, and 7 of the 8 games this season that Penn State's played in, he's had 10 or more kills. He's been the go-to for this Penn State offense, and they go right back to him. This time was looking for the coffin corner and won't get it. St. Francis the first to 10 here in set 2, down 1-0.
Harvey hitting negative 222 right now. He needs to heat it up a bit, whether that's connection or just confidence on the floor.
3 starters combined are hitting in the negatives. But there's a powerful smack from Owen Rose.
Owen Rose going to be in the positives after that one. That's a 52-mile-per-hour swing out of the middle. Insanely hard to defend. I keep saying that, but it is so true. Those middle attacks, especially when they're on, really hard to play defense behind.
Season high 8 kills in the season opener against Mount Olive. Back in early January, commits the service error. And he'll come out for Ryan Merck. So it's Merck, Luoma, Bethel, Harvey, Gabriel, and Jackson Herr on the floor for the Nittany Lions. And it's the setter for St. Francis, Kyle Charles. He's serving. Herr up for Gabriel. And talk about getting high and getting it down.
Gage Gabriel hitting about a 300 right now. He is on tonight. He is just such a consistent offensive middle for Penn State. Great choice by her to run him in that situation.
And the strategy that St. Francis has been operating throughout the year is trying to avoid getting it to the middles. Didn't work that time as Luoma goes down the line and ties it back up at 11.
More of that shot chart selection by Luoma, able to swing down the line. Again, he goes high hands. Just St. Francis doesn't know where he's going to attack.
Here comes Zinni. And sends it off the block for a kill.
I love the angle in which Zinni came and approached at that ball. He has his full court in front of him, and he is able to turn his arm in a way where it hits sharp cross court to make the off blocker play defense. Nobody was home.
And despite the injury last year, Mike Rumbaugh said to Nathan Zitti he wants to keep making him take swings because he wants to, quote, let that arm fly.
It's really hard when you're coming off of an injury, especially something like a shoulder, where you have to, you're just so conscious about whatever you're feeling. It's mostly mind over matter.
And I'm sure it takes a while for that to get back to where you once were.
Definitely a mental block.
Stump looking for the touch, and they will give it to him.
Aggressive swing by Stump. Not a lot of snap on it, but a lot of drive, going high hands. Almost can't even see that there was a touch on that ball.
Leads both sides with 7 kills. And the middle Gall sends it off. Bethel. Swing from Stump. And a diving dig from Ryan Merck. Out of the back row is Sean Harvey. And now both sides going blow for blow.
That's the standard Sean Harvey back row attack that we love to see. The acceleration, the speed, and the control that he has. It's going to be a kill every time.
Leads the team in points, leads the team in kills. Came into this game hitting .298 on the season. Giving Gage Gabriel an ace. His 9th of the season, that's 2nd on the team.
Able to catch Kaminsky napping back there. Hits him towards the chest. You can't pass that ball when it's at your chest. You got to get your platform out. Gabriel takes advantage of that.
First time we have called Kaminsky's name. The other starting libero, him and Wolgemuth, both getting the honors for the Red Flash. Gabriel almost got another ace. St. Francis gets the free ball, and the defense was napping.
That's a kill. That is a kill for Gage Gabriel out of the back row after serving. Every middle's dream.
Yeah, kill's a kill no matter how you slice it. Saw last week with Charlie Wade of Hawaii giving Mark Pavlik the ancient Hawaiian paddle. A lot of people with so much respect for the national championship winning head coach in Mark Pavlik. Here comes Nathan Zinni. He gets a kill out of the timeout.
Zinni able to use the hands, not in a way that we typically see tooling it out of bounds, but to make it drop in 6. That's the campfire spot where everybody looks at it, is around it, but nobody makes the move.
Zinni had 26 combined kills against Robert Wesleyan between the 2 games, 13 in each of them, especially that game 1. He had a double-double, 13 kills, 13 digs, 3 blocks, and 2 aces.
Well, that's a night you could sleep well after that one.
Oh, yeah. Kurzovic back into the game, sends it in the net. And we'll see some more subs, so we go back to the setter substitution. Herr and Luoma coming out now, so Hassel in for a different hitter, and Mark Pavlik mixing up the lineup again.
I mean, why not? It's early in the season. It's not conference where you kind of have to feel like you have everything together. As long as you're seeing what works and continues to work, and if you can win with this lineup, why not try it?
Something that St. Francis was worried about was just the amount of depth on this Penn State team that they can start so many people. It's not a scouting report of just the starters, because each starter has a backup that can play meaningful minutes, as Tristan Hassell makes it a 3-point game, his first kill of the night for the freshman.
That is the textbook tool that you want to be using if you're trying to tool the block on your swing technique. He hits it high, and then the ball comes back on Penn State's side, so there's absolutely no chance that St. Francis can defend that.
A joint termination attempt from Penn State. Brady Stump going to the back line. He beats Michael Schwob.
Great swing out of Stump. We call it the coffin corner for a reason. It's where most of the balls are terminated if you want to get a kill.
To a 2-point game, Penn State's still up, trying to go up 2-0 in the match. Float serve from Stump. Hassell off the block. Here comes Stump. Too far.
Again, when you come with that back row attack, you have so much acceleration that sometimes it's hard to control your body, and that translates to your arm swing, where you're not able to snap your arm, and then you just end up sending it out of bounds.
Stump 8 kills, but does have 5 errors. Tough set. Merck has to just send a arcing free ball that barely lands on the St. Francis side. Cole Dorn down the line, unable, and Ryan Merck saves a point for the Nittany Lions.
Nail biter. I did not think that ball was going over. Merck ultimately executes, as he has done for the Nittany Lions over the course of his entire career here. The senior has just been a great leader. Great play by him.
Dancing on the razor's edge, and that is a man in Ryan Merck that has over 100 consecutive starts as a Nittany Lion. Kruzovic for Dorn. Keeps on the red flash side. Into the game is Nick Lynch. And a kill for the Nittany Lions, courtesy of Sean Harvey.
Smart shot by Harvey. He's able to recognize that maybe swinging isn't my best chance right now. I'm going to catch them off guard defensively and just tip the ball and make them move.
Penn State into the red zone. They're the first to 20. With the critical late points become a factor for St. Francis. Bethel dropping serve. Here comes Dorn. The block's in play from Hassell and Rose.
Great setup by Hassell. Rose is able to close. Both of them get pressed. Great block.
21-15 for second verse, same as the first. A lot of gritty volleyball in the second frame. Higher hitting percentage, though, for both sides as Jaden Bethel skims the tape. And Cole Dorn looking for a touch. He won't get it. Penn State hitting 350 to St. Francis 115, so better than the lower than 100 we saw from either side in set one.
No, Dorn does walk away with that kill. That's a great high swing.
So they do correct it. Comes to Hassell. And Stump backed up the dig from Kruzovic. And that time Cole Dorn won't get any love from the ref. It's an attack error for him.
Bit of a misconnect right there. If you're Hassell, let's just talk about how Hassell handled that ball. That is a great swing. Lucky that it got dug. He is really making his impact as a true freshman for Penn State right now. They're going to have a great time utilizing him over the next couple years.
6'6" out of Toronto. Here comes Harvey. Backing up, doesn't matter.
I cannot believe that play just happened. They've definitely been working on that all week at practice after seeing Hawaii run it. That's where the middle sets the outside on the second ball. That is a great play. Definitely one that St. Francis wasn't scouting. And
Gage Gabriel and Sean Harvey give a hug on the front row, saying, hey, good job, as Owen Rose sends that one back to Loretto, I think.
Just a bit close, maybe a mile short. I'm still hung up on that play from earlier. That is a great draw up.
And great job from you recognizing that that was something that Hawaii ran, maybe something that Mark Pavlik saw reviewing those matches.
Because I remember I fell off my chair because it was so cool.
That was very cool. Here comes Hassell again, operating at the tough angle, not playing like a freshman.
Loving what I'm continuing to see out of Hassell. He's just getting so confident out there.
So it's set point again. Jackson Hurst serving. Penn State trying to take a 2-0 match lead. Some subs coming in for St. Francis with Nick Lynch coming out, Richard Kaminsky coming in. There's some extra defense on the floor. Charles up for Stump, medium speed. Her tracks it. Here comes Harvey from the midpoint. St. Francis has reinforcements. Dorn is pushed up by Bethel. And here comes Harvey on the shove through for the set 2 victory.
Loving that shot out of Harvey. He knows that swinging maybe isn't his best option right now, but his shot utilization is great. And that's a great set by her, bringing him inside the court, sees that he has that sharp crossover.
Interesting volleyball is the way you put it.
Yeah, we've seen Penn State just play some elite defense. Both sides aren't really doing too hot in the hitting percentage department, but the defense has A, been keeping St. Francis in this match, but B, having Penn State have that lead. Excuse me.
Yeah, words.
That was really hard, sorry. But yeah, we are hitting a 222 compared to a 031, 25 digs to 26 blocks to 3 blocks. That is elite defense on the Penn State side.
And Penn State's doing the little things better, and that's giving them the advantage. Sean Harvey and Matt Luoma lead the way with 5 kills and 2 blocks each. Owen Rose 4 blocks on 3 kills. Brady Stump leads the way for the Red Flash. He has 8 kills and a block. Hitting percentage, though, as you saw on your screen, 222 to 031 favor the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Brady Stump, 8 kills, 5 errors, 21 total attempts. That has him hitting a 143 right now. Not necessarily the best. If you're an outside, you want to be hitting around 250, but he still is leading that St. Francis side.
And Mike Rumbaugh talking about Brady Stump said he wants him to play high. If he plays low or plays a bit too fast, then it makes him a, quote, normal player, and that's not something that Mike Rumbaugh thinks he is. Sean Harvey, though, gets the first kill of set 3.
Coming in hot by Sean Harvey. He's able to take control of that net, recognizes that that's an overpass, put the ball down.
Close at the net. It's set back by Kyle Charles. Rose was there. Gall to Charles. Rolling off the tape. Some miscommunication on the St. Francis side. Good dig from Kaminsky off of Luoma. Here comes Cole Dorn. The platform by Luoma unsuccessful, and St. Francis gets a great kill.
A lot of heat there by Dorn down the line, making Luoma play some defense. Dorn walks away successful.
And Cole Dorn, a physician's assistant, in addition to playing D1 men's volleyball.
What a schedule. It's a lot of time management you have to have.
Yeah, that's better than you and me.
For sure. I bet his Google Calendar is ridiculous.
I don't want to see what his Google Calendar looks like.
I think mine's bad.
Yeah. I got the old, paper planner. It's a mess sometimes.
I tried that, and then I forgot to do it, and I feel like just my Google Calendar is connected to everything.
See, I do it the other way, where when it's online, I just, don't check it. But when I have it paper, I write it down.
Good for you. Differences.
I've killed a few trees, but, it gets the job done. Comes her. He tries to set her dump, and it works again.
Jackson Herr still hitting 1,000 right now on the offensive side. That is 2 kills. That's the most we've seen him do in a match so far, I believe.
He's only had 1 kill, or 1 game where he's hit over triple zeros. As the St. Francis bench chirping on Owen Rose. Charles, clean set for Gall, but he sends it into the net. And something Mike Rumbaugh touched upon with us was getting Kyle Charles into a groove and having a target of 0.6 seconds from setter to hitter.
Right, and also when you're 6'10", you have to have that set be a little bit higher so you can have your way with it. That was a low set, ultimately hitting into the net.
There's Lynch, sent packing by her and Gabriel.
I think Herr was ultimately the one that got a hold of that ball. The press was just so athletic, loving that connection between Gabriel and Herr.
Something that Jackson Herr, especially the middles, he's done such a great job of finding those connections.
Yeah, he's having a great night right now, especially, that middle connection is something that Penn State prides itself on, and other teams definitely scout.
Her's up to 13 assists. He'll make it 14 with Sean Harvey challenging the block.
Sean Harvey using that block to his advantage, setting the ball out of bounds. He's really coming alive right now.
4-0 run for Penn State. St. Francis in the negatives to start this frame. Penn State hitting 750 in the first 7 points. And Cole Dorn, rejected, recycled. Take another swing. Her pushing it through. And there's the aggressiveness we've seen from Jackson Her really coming to light.
Jack, is he really becoming confident enough right now on this Penn State side to continue to do this?
Before our very eyes.
Incredible. That is a great play. That's a high IQ play. That's someone who's been in the game for 4 years, knowing what they're doing.
The senior from Anthem, Arizona, 6'6". The refs talk things over. William Wolf and Kurt Fulmer tonight. Haven't heard their names, though. Usually a good thing for our challenge glasses. And Sean Harvey gets the kill.
Sean Harvey really figuring it out right now. I am loving his shot selection. He has tipped, he has utilized the block, and he's gone full swing. That full swing is exactly what we want to see out of Harvey and have seen all year this year.
And when you look at the great hitters, men's and women's, you talk about some things that separate them. One thing we hear a lot is about angle, but just shot selection and being able to be effective at everything.
You have to have a lot of different shots in your tool belt. That makes you harder to scout if you're opponents.
Brady Stump tried to wind up, and it ends up being an attack error. An 8-0 run for Penn State, a 9-1 lead, and a timeout from Mike Rumbaugh.
What a dominant showing by Penn State here. They are showing that they want to get this done in 3, get some sleep tonight, and come and do it again tomorrow in Laredo.
So we'll step aside here on Big Ten Plus. Penn State is sitting pretty in set 3. Welcome back to Happy Valley, a 9-1 set 3 lead for Penn State, trying to complete the sweep. Jack Raczynski alongside Caroline Jerovicius. So glad you could spend your Friday night with us from Rec Hall. There comes a swing from Nick Lynch, and he will get kill number 1 on the night, the grad middle blocker out of Rochester, New York.
Lynch totally confident that he had that swing. He recognized that he had a big block in front of him, says, I'm going to use this to my advantage, and wails it out on the sideline.
And that's the confidence booster to get a point out of the timeout, especially on the 8-0 run that Penn State was on, or 7-0 run. Here comes Harvey. Stump with the push through. Also note that Jackson Decker has come into the game for the Red Flash. He gets the dig on that back line. Stump past the track in. He goes cross court.
Stump had a block in front of him, but Jackson Her decided to pull his hands last minute. That's what happens when you recognize a hitter is about to tip. So you go down and try to play it yourself. Obviously read that wrong. Great swing by Stump.
One of the better plays we've seen from St. Francis tonight. Here comes the junior in Jackson Decker, commits the service error, and Penn State the first to double digits.
Just a bit wide.
Yep. 2 aces for Penn State, none for St. Francis. One of the goals for the Red Flash coming into this was getting an ace per set. They have none when you're in the 2.5 way mark. And a push through from Nick Lynch on the opposite pin now. Gets another kill for St. Francis.
Lynch is coming in and being productive for the St. Francis side. Exactly what they need right now. They need somebody that's going to get them points in times of need.
Swapping around a few players. It's the 6'10 blocker and Gall to serve, and there goes Gage Gabriel.
Gage Gabriel, he seldom hits straight ahead. He always has something up his sleeves, whether that be hitting cross court or line, but he will never go 6.
And just the confidence in most of the time doing that on your own as well. He's usually by himself, no one with him to run the block. It's just Gage Gabriel doing all the work, and it usually pays off. Comes Lynch on the assist. That was good, Caroline.
I just got my hand on a ball. I feel really proud of that.
Yeah, you're back.
Great hand-eye coordination by Caroline Juravicius over here.
You're getting spring practice started early.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, I hit it with my ring. That really hurt.
Ouch. Error by Lynch. We're up to 21 service errors tonight. That's fairly low.
Yeah, right. Believe it or not, that is a relatively low number for men's volleyball. We have seen upwards of, I think the highest we saw was 35.
That sounds about right. Making 22. That is Gabriel, who does have an ace tonight. Him and Bethel, the two that have aces for Penn State. The second in the EIVA in that category with 38 total. Go 3 in a row, why not?
I believe that we spoke too soon, Jack.
Yeah, it's my bad.
This tends to be a habit of ours, isn't it?
Yeah, broadcaster jinx is real.
In challenges and service errors.
Yeah.
Our fault, those at home. Totally our fault.
You can play along with us. It's fun. We're watching along with you guys.
We have a good time out here.
That's half the battle. Michael Schwob to serve, so again, seeing a setter swap by Mark Pavlik. Hassel also back in the game. He lines with a dropping serve. Here comes Decker off speed. Merck tracks it. Bethel tried to save it lying on his back. But no can do.
Could have been really cool. Wasn't, but could have.
He was going for style points.
Right. That would have been incredible.
He also called somebody off on the side as well. Like, he's laying on his back. He's like, nah, I got this, guys.
It's a lot of confidence out of Jaden Bethel. Okay, to each their own.
Hey, it's his first few games as a starter, the redshirt freshman. Making the most of it. Here comes Hassel again. And talk about efficiency as an underclassman, it's Tristan Hassel.
Yeah, Tristan Hassel, every time he comes in, he has been a game changer for Penn State. Penn State is doing really well offensively, and he's definitely a key piece of that.
3 kills, 5 swings, no errors for Tristan Hassel. That time an error by Bethel, so cuts the lead to 6.
24 service errors so far this match. That's almost a full set.
There we go. Comes to Kyle Charles, the 2025 Northeast Conference Rookie of the Year. Hands on the head for Caroline Juravicius.
It is what it is.
Hey, shake it off. We've been here before.
If we do want to see some good volleyball, somebody's going to have to keep it in at some point.
Yeah. Service errors aren't exactly the flashiest part of the game. Are a part of it in a way. Here comes a psych out from Lynch. And now Harvey opposite pin, able to reach down and get the kill. Sean Harvey up to 9 of them on the night and over 100 kills for the season.
Harvey, again, with that throwdown, that is something that I haven't seen from him so far this season, but I am absolutely loving it.
He led the team in kills in both games against McKendree 2 weeks ago. Owen Rose, the guilty party that time. But are these service errors, are you approving of them in the way that they are being committed? Because
They're aggressive.
We have talked about the notion of good versus bad errors.
They are aggressive service errors, and for that, I cannot be mad.
Very hard to not be mad. Here comes Gabriel. The overpass from Schwob kept it in play. Here comes Decker. Off the floor by Harvey. And St. Francis gets the point off the stoppage.
A lot of back and forth volleyball there. That's a really upsetting way to end that exciting rally in the net. St. Francis walks away the lucky ones.
Because usually a wild Michael Schwob play ends in a Penn State kill. He just has that magic touch.
He truly does.
Decker really aggressive, 65 miles an hour, but just a bit far.
You know, I'm going to say that's probably the best service error I've seen all night. That's the one I definitely approve of the most because you're trying to go for it. It's clean. It's just a bit long, and sometimes you can't even help that as a server.
And now Herr's back in the game for Penn State. So Schwob had 5 assists and a dig. Jackson Herr has 3 kills, 1,000 hitting percentage, 16 assists, 2 blocks, and 4 digs. Lynch got hands, Bethel with the dig. Now Harvey. It was a play at the net. Charles has to set it up on a bad angle, and Lynch goes into the net.
Tough angle for Lynch to try to take an attack on. The setter is right on him. You don't really know where the ball is until it's right on top of you. Tough play.
8-point lead for Penn State, and they're 7 away from the sweep. Gall through the block. And here comes Matt Luoma. Haven't said his name too often in this set. He has 5 kills. Brady Stump looking for cross court. He's got it. Again, maneuvering the block.
Absolutely loving the way that he approaches with that ball. It's that sharp cross swing that wins every single time. It's the equivalent of that deep corner shot. That sharp cross is going to win.
And Mike Rumbaugh credited Matt Luoma with his way of approaching the high hands. Stump is getting kills, and the only one in double digits right now by just completely avoiding the roof.
You know, those are just both really tried and true methods for getting these kills here. We are having a challenge on the floor.
Oh boy.
My favorite. I don't know what we're challenging. In and out.
So Stump clears the block.
In.
It's in.
That ball is fully in.
And the point was awarded to St. Francis, so it was Mark Pavlik challenging.
Should be pretty quick. Maybe they're looking at something else because this seems like an interesting challenge to take. We can look at the bench's reaction, see if people try to play it off. No, that was fast.
Here comes the calls from our referee, William Wolf and Kurt Fulmer. It is a point for St. Francis regardless, so call on the floor stands.
As it should have. It's a great swing.
Yes, just kudos on the style points for Brady Stump.
For sure.
11 kills, hitting 192, 4 digs and a block. For the York, PA native. There's a lot of PA kids on both sides. School's just separated by an hour apart. And we'll be back at it tomorrow in DeGol Arena. There's a kill from Nicholas Lynch.
Lynch falling backwards, but he still has a full range to swing down the line and use the block to his advantage, even while falling.
So 6-point game. Penn State 7 away. Gall with a dropping serve. Gabriel on a fast set from Jackson Herr. Now out of the middle comes from Sam Lane. Bethel again. Big swing, big kill.
Bethel is just such a powerful hitter for Penn State. He has a lot of acceleration, a lot of power in his swing. And that back row attack is just something that you want to run him on every single time that you possibly can.
Jaden Bethel, 3 kills on 8 swings, no errors. A float serve from Harvey. And Bethel with the 2-hand overpass termination.
Recognizing that that ball is coming over, either you can swing on it, block it, or set it back for your team to handle and try to make a play out of. He decides the second option and goes and blocks that ball.
St. Francis, something that they have dealt with is having these sets slip away. You look back to their game against Hawaii in Loretto where they had a set 1 lead, and then Hawaii went on an 8-3 run to win that set and then didn't look back. And something that Mike Rumbaugh admitted to us was that at times I think he thinks that St. Francis gets in their head a bit.
Yeah, and that happens, especially with a team like this where you have so many new faces, especially on the bench. You're trying to find your identity as a team. And that's really hard to do, especially this early in the season.
And he said that identity is still growing, still trying to find its footing as to what exactly it is, trying to run fast, serve aggressively. And for you, Caroline, you've been in huddles, you've been in teams where from an outsider perspective, you might think identity is just some cliche buzzword, but what does it mean to you when you play as a group?
It's what people are looking at when they see you on the floor. How do you guys interact? What is the type of volleyball that you play? What are they seeing when they scout you? It really is everything. Perception is everything within sports and in life, and that is just no different.
Yeah, well, you look back to that Roberts Wesleyan series where Mike Rumbaugh did say they did have a better footing because it was 2 wins on the weekend, and early in the season, non-conference play, they still thought it was a group of games that they had to win.
It really is. Any win is a good win. You put that in the win column, that makes your percentage go up, and that puts RPI up ultimately, which puts you in a position to go play in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you look at the men's volleyball game, now the NEC being a team or a conference that does have an auto bid in addition to the tournament where there was that appendix game where Damon ended up winning the NEC tournament despite St. Francis getting the regular season title, but Damon got the auto bid and lost to Penn State in the first round, and a nasty kill from Matt Luoma.
That Matt Luoma back row attack never ceases to amaze me. I love the range in which he hits it. He doesn't try to swing 6 or as hard as he can, but he recognizes that he has that line open, so might as well swing as hard as he can in that situation.
Penn State has 6 more kills than St. Francis. The Red Flash, though, they have 10 more attack errors. There's the difference in this volleyball game. Her with a long set to Bethel, and he's sent packing. Sam Lane leading the way.
Bethel is led inside on that play. Jackson Hurd trying to set a long string ball, leads him inside. St. Francis recognizes that and sets at the block nice and early, taking away all light at the end of the tunnel.
They do have a lot of work to do, though. Penn State just 2 away from the sweep, and they're down 8. Bethel does not get the touch.
Close, looking to see if there's no challenge. Penn State just going to go with it and try to win the next 2.
They're close to taking the sweep. A tough serve from St. Francis. Harvey with a free ball. Charles. And he gets up for Brady Stump. They're starting to string some points together.
Stump coming out of the back row. Again, that acceleration on those back row attacks, especially in the men's game, it's so effective.
So a 3-0 run for the Red Flash. Lane to the back line. Again, almost getting an ace. And Harvey into the net. They can't save it.
If you're Penn State, you really just got to string these last couple points together.
To the end of set number 3, St. Francis has been on a run. Sam Lane, false start.
Got to keep Penn State on their toes.
Yeah. Nittany Lions just 2 away from taking the sweep. And Bethel makes it match point.
Jaden Bethel putting an end to that St. Francis run, putting Penn State on top. Red zone points, they matter, and he is showing up in those big moments.
St. Francis and Penn State in their history. The 60th all-time meeting. Penn State is 56-3 and have won 17 straight. Jackson Hurd up for Matt Luoma, and he gets blocked by Decker and Gall.
St. Francis not going away that easy. That is a great block and a big moment. Weirder things have happened if you're St. Francis. You're still very much in this in your minds.
You look at the way that these games have come close between the 2 squads. Penn State was outkilled by St. Francis 44-29 in last year's game 1, but had 12 more attack errors. Here comes Decker, covered by Merck. Hurd for Luoma to the back line. He got it. It's a sweep for the Nittany Lions.
Luoma again out of that back row. That's the thing that kept Penn State ahead this entire night.
It's a quiet night for Matt Luoma compared to what he usually does, but 7 kills, and his 7th being the one that ends it.
Coffin corner, that'll win every single time. Penn State traveling to Laredo tomorrow to face off again, see if St. Francis can get those hitter connections down a bit more to be hitting above a 095.
And compared to Penn State's 275, a lot of that dragged down by the first set, and that was the theme of the whole game, is where both sides